Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this call will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. If you would please introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Deputy Ramen. That's Rahman.
Our first name.
Adam.
Good morning, Deputy Ramen. Where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and I'm assigned to the Patrol Division, and I work in District 1.
All right. How long have you been working with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office?
Approximately 4 years.
Did you have any prior law enforcement experience before that?
No, I did not.
All right. Back on August 29th of 2022, what were you doing at that time?
I was assigned to the Patrol Division that night, and I was completing just one of my normal 12-hour shifts.
Okay. What are your general duties as a patrol deputy?
We handle various calls for service, we conduct traffic stops, and we do proactive policing to deter crime.
Now, back on August 29th of 2022, how long had you been employed as a Hillsborough County Sheriff's Deputy?
I did approximately 1 year in the academy, and I was finishing up the FTO process, which is approximately 4 months.
All right. And what is that? So it's a 4-month process. During that time period, are you assigned to work with someone?
Yes, so I'm assigned to another deputy who's pretty much like he will train me per each shift, and I was finishing it up. I had 2 days left with him, and then I was going to be on my own.
All right. And who was this deputy who was your field training?
Yeah, it's a terrible
Rainey.
lie.
Now, as you work with Deputy Rainey, do you all ride together and go to each of the calls together?
Yes, we do. I'm typically the one driving, and he's the one sitting in the passenger seat, just foreseeing what I'm doing and making sure that I'm not messing up anything critical.
All right. Now, on August 29th of 2022, did you receive a call to respond to a scene out on Heritage Club Drive?
Yes, I did.
And did you recall what was it that you believed you were responding to at that time?
We were responding to a shooting call for service.
All right. And were you one of the first units on scene?
Yes, I was.
What did you do when you arrived?
Well, once we arrived, we coordinated with the other deputies that were on scene, and we made a tactical entry into the living room. And then what we observed once we got on scene, we observed a adult male, Jermaine Bass, the defendant, and he was holding his son, who's also named Jermaine Bass, on the couch in the living room.
Prior to going into the residence, when you pulled up, did you see anyone outside, or did you observe anyone outside?
Yes, I believe I saw it was the mother, Shirley. She was outside, and she was screaming. She was just pretty much just screaming at the top of her lungs.
Okay. And could you tell really what she was saying?
Not exactly. I can't make out what she was saying, but she was screaming.
How would you describe her demeanor at that point?
Very frantic and scared, and just horrific is a good word to use for it.
Now, when you made the tactical decision to go in, do you all take out your firearms as you do that?
Yes, we all did have our lethal weapons drawn.
All right. And what's the point of that?
Because we don't know what we're going into. When we get a shooting call for service, there is the undeniable that there is a firearm located in the house, or there isn't a firearm located in the house. And once we determine that the scene is safe and there is no credible threat, that's when we holster our weapons.
Okay. So you described that you went into the residence, you saw the defendant, Jermaine Bass,
Yes, sir.
and he was holding his child?
Yes, he was.
And just for the record right now, do you see the person you saw in that room holding that child on that day?
Yes, I do.
Can you identify him just for the record?
He's sitting over there in the gray tuxedo.
Record reflection, he has identified the defendant, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right. Now, who all entered with you, do you recall?
It's tough.
Yes, it was me, Deputy Rainey, Deputy Vanderbosch, Deputy White, and Deputy Nathaniel Jones. We were the initial first deputies on scene.
All right. As you go in, and you said you saw the defendant there holding his child, what else did you go upstairs?
So I did not go upstairs. Once we observed the defendant, Jermaine Bass, holding his son, we observed what appeared to be a gunshot wound to the left side of his head. And immediately we just attempted to render medical aid. Me and my partner, Deputy Vanderbosch, we grabbed our agency-issued medical kit, and we began to wrap his head in gauze to try to put pressure on the wound and stop the bleeding.
All right. Did you hear the father saying anything about what happened?
Yes, he made the spontaneous statement that it was an accidental discharge.
All right. Were you wearing a body-worn camera on that day?
Yes, I was.
All right. And have you had a chance to review what's already been introduced into evidence of State's Exhibit number 4?
Yes, I have.
All right. And does this pretty fairly accurately depict what you saw when you went through on that morning?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Judge, just remember objections to the testimony of the indictment.
All right. Thank you.
Accidental discharge 5 times. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but why would he say it? Why would he say that though?
Hey, can you really help him? Yep, they're up here. Oh, please, now. The guy is somebody got in my bag. Get in my bag. You want to bring him out? Please, hurry. They're coming. They're coming. Hey, can you hear me? They're here. They're coming. They're coming. There's 60 over here? Yeah, they're putting it upstairs. We turned it upstairs. All right, you want to do that? It's okay. You're okay. Not yet.
Yeah, something's not adding up.
What happened upstairs? Accident discharge. Even the one upstairs? Yes. Where's he at? Oh, we got a light on here. Oh, yeah.
Could he be saying accidental discharge? Man, could he be saying accidental discharge because it was the son? Because the son didn't know what he was doing. Dang, man. Hey, listen, I know y'all want to, let's see the evidence. Let's see it play out. I'm just asking questions. I know y'all about ready to put this man in front of a firing squad, but we still don't know. We still haven't seen all the evidence, so just hold on a second. Why call it accidental discharge? Why?
Where's the firearm?
Dang. Crazy.
So he's got one in the head. One on the south, one in the head. Here. Yeah, here. We're gonna have to lift the top one. Let's see.
It was going, I was trying to take out the magazine and went off.
Alright, we'll get it out this time. What happened upstairs?
Nothing happened upstairs.
There we go, got size. Alright, do you have those two pins? I got one. Alright. You got those pins? We'll just hold that one. Okay, let's see if we can check him for more injuries. Not yet, sir. I can know the shark here. We got another victim upstairs. We got another. Still don't have a signature. Where's the gun? Be honest. It's upstairs on the dresser. On top of it, or in the dresser? On top of the dresser. Okay.
Where it should be in the dresser, in that silver dresser, with the middle and master bedroom. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't try and hide it. He didn't try and cover it up.
Yeah. What's one upstairs? Hey, what's up? There's more upstairs. Adult? No, juvenile. Take this one to the rescue time. No.
And this is another question I have for y'all. If it was him and Shirley was there, why the 2 kids and not Shirley? If she was right around the corner in the house. Well, she's a possible witness. And if it's because of the issues they were having, this just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
got something inside the head in his head. That's all we saw.
I mean, we'll wait and see.
So you're saying that whatever happened to him, that son, both of those are your kids. So it accidentally discharged and hit your son. What happened to your daughter upstairs?
The same way. It was both in the bed. It was just one round.
Both in the bed together?
Yes. I think I remember what.
You're saying both kids were in the bed together?
Deputy, a couple quick questions following
But
that.
Shirley
So,
was there,
when you-
though.
that
Doesn't
video
make
shows you
sense.
walking in, the sound doesn't come on for a little while. Why is that?
So en route to the call, the body cam was muted because I was having a conversation with my FTO while getting to the call, and we didn't want that just to be for the a minute or 2 minutes that it was prior to the video that captured audio, just because I was fairly new at the time, so he was kind of walking me through and maybe just calming my nerves a little bit, and that's essentially why it was.
Okay, so did you manually turn on the sound so that it would pick up the?
Yes, once we made entry, I manually turned it on.
Okay. That thing that they brought in where you pulled out, what is that called? Where you pulled out the gauze?
That is our agency-issued medical kit, and it carries things such as quick clot. I think there's extra tourniquets, gauze, things of that nature to render aid in instances like this.
Okay, and every deputy carries one in their vehicle?
Yes.
All right. After tending the boy's injuries and you went out, did you do anything else while you were at the scene?
Once the scene was cleared and both juveniles were removed from the residence, my next task was scene safety and the security of the scene. I stood in the front doorway just maintaining the crime scene until I was tasked to do a neighborhood survey with the adjacent building next to it.
And what is the neighborhood survey?
Neighborhood survey essentially is what it is deputies will go and they'll knock on other doors or people that were close to the incident, such as neighbors, just to see if they want to do an interview and see if they heard anything, saw anything, just to gather more information.
And after you did that neighborhood survey, did that conclude your involvement in the case?
Yes, that was my conclusion. That concludes my involvement in the case after that neighborhood survey.
I might have one moment here.
Yes.
Judge, I will pass the witness this time.
All right. Cross.
Yeah,
Morning, Deputy, how are you?
Good morning, ma'am. Good. How are you?
it's interesting.
Thank you. At the time that this happened, you indicated that you were in training?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You were, what, 2 days from being on your own?
Yeah, phase 4, day 5 to be precise.
Right. And Deputy Rainey, who was here in the hallway, and you've seen that was your FTO?
Yes, ma'am.
An FTO field training officer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you arrived about 10:33 to the scene, is that correct?
Approximately that time, yes, ma'am.
And I just want to talk to you very briefly about the lady that you saw outside. It's safe to say that you saw her pretty briefly, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, potentially just walking past her to get inside of the apartment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you've never met her before, correct?
No, ma'am.
All right. Now, on your body cam there, I heard Mr. Bass talking about where the gun is, and I heard him talking about being on, and I also heard him say it's in the silver dresser. Do you remember both of those?
Yes, ma'am. I believe he made both those statements.
Thank you. Now, when you entered the scene, it looks like you're rendering aid. Is that with Deputy Vanderbosch?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you first entered, until you took over care, you and Deputy Vanderbosch of the son, JJ, blood was actually coming down from JJ down to Mr. Bass and onto the couch, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I also heard Mr. Bass, he's saying, please now call the paramedics, please now. Do you remember that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at some point, we see a pat down. Is that pretty much just standard because a gun is involved in this case?
It was standard, yes, because the firearm wasn't involved and we had not located it at that time.
Okay. And you did not find anything during that, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And may I have a moment, Judge?
Yes.
Yeah, this is, I don't know. I have a theory, but I'm going to keep it to myself right now.
Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can step down. Thank you. Be released from his subpoena.
He is not, and I ask you to remain on this floor just for a little bit.
All right. You need to remain here at the courthouse for a little bit. Call your next witness.
State of Call Deputy Jason White.
I don't know. I'm seeing some reasonable doubt here. Now, we'll let it play out. We'll let it play out.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You come this way. While he's taking your badge, again, just remember your testimony and any evidence.
All right, thank you. Good morning. If you would please introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
Morning, my name is Deputy Jason White, Jasonwhite.
Thank you, Deputy. Deputy, how are you currently employed?
I'm a Hillsborough County Sheriff Deputy
How long have you been working as a Hillsborough County Sheriff's Deputy?
since June 2020.
What are your duties as a Hillsborough County Sheriff's Deputy?
I'm a patrol deputy.
Okay, what do you do in that?
I respond to calls for service and then conduct proactive patrols.
All right, back on August 29th of 2022, what was your position back at that time?
I was a patrol deputy.
All right. And did you receive a call to respond to a scene out on Heritage Club Drive?
I did.
All right. Is that located here in Hillsborough County?
It is.
Okay. And how were you close by the scene when you got the call?
Yes, I was.
All right. Was that kind of your general area where you worked as well?
Yes, it is part of my district area.
All right. And what was your belief that you were responding to at that time?
A shooting.
Okay. And were you one of the first units on the scene?
Yes.
All right. As you arrived at the scene, did you see anyone on the outside?
I saw a woman.
Okay. And describe to the jury what this woman was like.
She was frantic and she was screaming towards the other deputy who I was with.
Okay. So you were riding with another deputy at that time?
There was another deputy who was in front of me.
Okay. So you all arrived kind of on the same time?
Yes.
What deputy was that?
Deputy Jones.
All right. So who all enters into do you enter in the house?
Yes.
All right. Who all enters in the house with you?
Deputy Jones.
Okay. And going back to that woman, did you have any involvement with her out there?
She was just yelling at us, so
Okay, but you didn't actually speak to her or have any conversations with her?
we didn't really interact with her.
All right. So when you went into the residence, what were you doing?
We were checking to see what was going on, for one.
Okay. What did you see when you went in there?
There was a adult male sitting on the couch, and then there was a little boy in his arms.
All right. Did you have your guns out?
Yes.
All right. And what did you do at that point?
We began clearing the house.
All right. Explain to the jury what it means when you say you're clearing the house.
So we have to clear a house. We have to confirm that there's not someone in there that's still armed, that is still a threat, that if we start to render aid,
Right.
someone else might come out and try to injure someone else while we're still there.
Okay. And so where did you go to clear the house?
We went to the staircase to go upstairs.
All right. And who all went upstairs?
Deputy Jones and I.
All right. And where did you go? when you
Yes,
went
he
up
is saying
I
it was
went into the
accident.
kid's bedroom.
there? Where did Deputy Jones go?
He went into the master bedroom.
Describe to the jury when you go in up the stairs. Where is the kid's bedroom?
So when you go up the stairs, the kid's bedroom is directly in front of the staircase, and then you have a bathroom immediately to our left-hand side, and the master bedroom is behind us.
All right. What did you see when you went into the kid's bedroom?
I saw blood on the floors and on the walls, and then I saw a bunk bed on my left-hand side.
All right. And what did you do at that point?
I checked the room, and then I checked the bunk bed.
All right. And what did you see in the bunk bed?
On the top bunk, I found a little girl.
All right. And
Jeez.
could you tell anything about the little girl?
She was laying on her side, facing towards me. She was laying in blood, and she had a bullet hole in the center of her forehead.
One bullet
What
hole?
did you do at that point?
I told the other deputies what I found, and I went to grab a med bag.
All right. And those are another deputy's already testified. Those are things you keep in all, like everyone has in their all the
Yes.
deputies have in their cars, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you do that because paramedics weren't there yet, right?
Yes.
All right. So you go down and get the med bag. Do you go back up?
Yes.
And what do you do when you go back up?
When I go back up, we started putting pressure on the wounds that she had until the medics arrived.
All right. Were you wearing a body-worn camera on that day?
Yes.
All right. And I'm showing you what's already been introduced as State's Exhibit number 3. Is this, in fact, did you review that and see that?
Yes.
All right. And does this very accurately depict what you did when you first arrived on that scene?
Yes.
All right. Judge, I'm publishing.
All right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Sheriff's office. How many people are inside? Inside.
Hey, Jermaine,
Anybody else in here? Is there anybody upstairs? No. Hey, can you two go help him? We'll clear up here. I'll look around. Yeah. Sheriff's office, anyone upstairs? I'm going in here. You guys trying to clear? Oh, what's going on? You see a fire? Sweetie!
That's tough.
Hey, we got another one up here. Hey, we got another one up here. That's clear. Let me grab my med bag. Hey, see the farm still up there with her? She's still breathing. It's our home pressure. Let me grab my med.
Right, what do you, at that time, is that when you go outside to get the med bag?
Yes.
And you actually brought it in?
Yes.
Okay. And you go back upstairs?
Yes.
All right. And at that point in time, had the paramedics arrived yet?
Not yet.
All right. Did they get there soon after?
Yes.
All right. After the paramedics arrived and took the little girl, what was your duties at that time? What was your position? What were you have to do?
Immediately after, I was just holding the scene upstairs.
Okay, what does that mean by holding the scene?
I'm standing up there, making sure no one who's not allowed to be in there comes up there.
All right. Did you, once you were cleared out of the house, did you have any other involvement in the case?
Yes.
And what was that?
I was instructed to drive the mother to the hospital.
All right. And the mother, is that the woman we see on that video right there?
Yes.
The one who was screaming at the very beginning of the video?
Yes.
All right. And which hospital did you drive her to?
Tampa General.
And what was her condition on the drive?
She was frantic.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine.
Did she say anything to you while you were driving?
I'm gonna object here, side.
I was stained.
All right. How was she when you got her to the hospital?
She
Demeanor, like, is she still the same, or?
she was still frantic. She was uncooperative with wanting to go in the hospital.
Okay. And she, when you say that, what do you mean by that?
She was scared to go in the hospital.
After getting her to the hospital, what did you do?
I left her with another deputy and then the hospital staff.
Okay. And was that everything that you did in this case, or did you ever go back to the scene?
No, I was ordered to go back to the scene.
All right. So after dropping her off at the hospital, at Tampa General Hospital in downtown, you drove all the way back up there to the scene?
Yes.
All right. And what did you do at that point when you got to the scene?
I was told I took the father from another deputy and placed him in the backseat of my truck.
Okay. And did you eventually transport him to the station?
I transported him to the district office.
To the district office? How was his demeanor on the entire time he was with you?
Calm.
Calm?
Yes, he was calm.
All right. Did you do anything else on the case?
No.
Can I have one moment here?
Yes.
Can we approach this for 1 second?
Sure.
Again, a lot of this is it's strange. A lot of this is not adding up for me. Him saying accidental discharge, 2 shots hit, and then multiple shots were fired. I don't know. Let me skip ahead here for y'all. Here we go.
Good morning, Snow.
This is a
How are
very
you,
weird
Deputy?
case.
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm only going to ask you some additional questions. All right. When you are entering, we can hear somebody saying, come in on your body cam. I presume that's Mr. Bass, correct?
Can we play the body cam again? I don't remember hearing it. I'll have to watch it again.
Okay.
I wonder if the son had any injuries to his hands or wrist.
No, I'm like, where is it? It's hiding there, thank you. You would ask to play the bike.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. No.
I disagree about him being 100% cooked. If this were in California, maybe.
There we go. All right, I'll play it again for you.
Well, I'll take your word for
And
it.
I'm just going to turn it off after you walk in, if that's okay.
Sheriff's office. How many people are inside?
Okay? Did you hear that?
I did.
All right. Does that refresh your memory now about somebody saying, come in, a male voice from inside the apartment?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy. All right. There's some questions being asked when y'all have come into the townhouse, and a question is asked about, is there anybody else inside? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Bass originally says no. However, you actually heard something else being said, did you not? And please tell the jury what you heard.
Yes, I heard him mumble something about a little girl as I walked by him.
In fact, you documented that in your report.
Yes.
Okay. When you went upstairs, the only question I want to ask you about concerning Jayla Bass is, you saw a shell casing by her foot?
Yes.
Just one, right?
There's one shell.
But you're not looking for evidence at that point. You're trying to help her.
Correct.
Right, okay. Now, Mr. Bass was in your patrol vehicle for several hours, waiting to be transported?
He was back there for a long time, yes.
Okay, all right. And had you ever met him before?
No.
Okay. And you have described him as calm. He was cooperative with you, didn't give you any problems, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you also described him as being quiet, that he's very quiet. Is that fair?
Yes.
His demeanor. Okay. All right. All right. May I have a moment, Judge?
Yes.
Shut this down. Okay. Thank you, Deputy White. No other questions.
All right,
Anything
so that's
else?
it.
All right, you can step down. Thank you. He released from his subpoena.
Getting these witnesses knocked out. I like it.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Call your next witness.
City Hall Deputy Nathaniel Jones.
We'll probably try and get one
Do you
more
solemnly
witness
swear
in
or
here.
affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
You come this way. Good morning. If you would please introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
My name is Deputy Nathaniel Jones, Nathaniel Jones.
Thank you, Deputy. Deputy, how are you employed?
I am employed with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
What is your job at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office?
I am a law enforcement deputy.
Okay. Do you have any specific duties there as a member of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office?
I am assigned to District 1 Patrol.
True.
And as part of a patrol, you go out and you respond to scenes, you pull over traffic infractions, that sort of thing. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. What was your position back on August 29th of 2022?
I was in the same capacity as a patrol deputy.
How long have you been working with the Sheriff's Office at that time?
At that time, roughly 1 year.
All right. Prior to that, had you had any law enforcement training or experience?
No.
Okay. Now, did you receive a call to respond out to a scene on Heritage Club Drive?
Yes.
And what did you believe you were responding to?
I believed it was a 911 emergency call. The details of the call weren't, to my knowledge, given because of the open line status of the caller.
Okay. But you knew you were responding to shots being fired?
Yes,
Okay. And were you one of the first units on the scene?
correct.
When you pulled up, did you see anyone as you were walking up?
Yes.
What did you see?
I seen as I was driving up to the residence, I seen a male who was pointing in the direction of the residence, trying to guide me to the correct residence.
Okay. And then what did you see when you got to the residence?
Once I got to the residence, I seen a female exit the residence and approach me as I got out of my vehicle.
Okay. Did you have any involvement with her?
Yes. I had asked her, she volunteered the information that her.
Objection, hearsay.
Judge, he's just arriving on scene. And
Yes, well,
what was her-
establish a predicate.
Yes. What was her demeanor at that time? What was her behavior like?
She was frantic.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And did she
imagine.
appear to be under an emotional stress of what had happened?
Correct.
Judge, I believe this would be considered an excited utterance.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. And so as you approached her, what was going on?
She was telling me that her son had been shot.
Okay. And what did you do when she said that? What did you do?
I tried to get information as to who had shot her son and if the person who had shot her son was still within the area.
Okay. And did she respond to you?
She was very frantic, but she just
So
kept
he didn't
saying,
know
"My
what she said.
son, my son, my son."
Okay. And did you go into the scene, into the apartment?
I did. I made that decision once I realized I wasn't gonna get any additional information to try and clear the scene.
All right.
So again, this is weird. This is weird to me. My son, my son, my son, my son. So either they all didn't know, they truly didn't know that their daughter was shot, which is what it seemed like, or did they know that, I don't want to say it. Did they think the son had done something? She's saying, my son, my son, my son. He's holding his son. He had to have gone upstairs and got him. Help my son. This is weird, y'all.
And were you one of the first ones into the apartment?
That is correct.
It's weird.
And did you come with your guns drawn?
That is correct.
All right.
And she didn't answer the question.
What did you see when you went into the residence?
As I entered the front door of the residence, I seen a gentleman, adult male, and a juvenile male sitting on the living room couch.
Okay. Who all entered the residence with you at that time?
Deputy White and myself were the first two to enter
Very
the residence.
strange.
All right. After seeing that male holding his son, what did you do at that point?
I asked him if there was anyone else in the residence. I realized it was a two-story residence, so for safety of the deputies and everyone else, I asked if there was anyone else within the residence.
And what was his response?
He said no.
Okay. And then what did you do?
I then took the decision to clear the upstairs floor of that residence.
All right. And so where did you go at that point?
I walked up the stairs and I seen that there were multiple bedrooms within the second floor, and me and Deputy White
That's
cleared
what
the
I'm
two
saying. It
bedrooms
doesn't
on
make
the second
sense.
floor.
And which bedroom did you clear?
I cleared the master bedroom first, along with the bathroom that was on that side of the upstairs floor.
All right. After clearing the master bedroom, what did you do?
I walked back to Deputy White's position where he was positioned near the children's bedroom, and I entered the children's bedroom along with Deputy White.
All right. And what did you see in the children's bedroom?
I seen bunk beds, and on the top bunk bed, we located a victim.
All right. What was this victim? What did she look like?
The juvenile female victim.
Okay. So a little girl.
Yes, sir.
And what was her condition that you saw when you first saw her?
Dang.
When I first saw her, she was laying on her side, facing towards the inward of the bedroom, and she had what appeared to myself to be a gunshot wound to the head.
Were you wearing a body-worn camera on this day?
I was.
All right. Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 5. It's already been admitted into evidence. Did you review that video?
I did.
And is that video a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw when you went in on that day?
Yes.
All right. Just publish it this time?
Yes.
Judge, just renewing again any evidence or testimony based on.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
This is very interesting. A lot of this doesn't make sense to me. I'm with you. It's unfortunate that it happened. There's the mom. Can't hear what she's saying. He said the body cameras were muted.
Who shot him?
It was the gun, it was the gun, it was the gun.
Did he shoot himself?
No, he did not. The gun went off. I need my son.
The ambulance is on the way.
What can you
They're
fucking
outside.
hurry up?
Again, the gun went off. Y'all, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but this isn't adding up. The language isn't adding up. This doesn't make sense. Why isn't she saying that Jermaine did it? Jermaine shot him. Jermaine shot him. He said, we got to run this back. Hold on a second. The gun went off. Listen to the words that she's using. I don't want to overanalyze this, but I think it's important.
Who shot him? Who shot him?
It was the gun, it was the gun, it was the gun.
Did he shoot himself?
No, he did not. The gun went off. I need my son.
The ambulance is on the way.
What can you
They're
fucking hurry
outside.
up?
Stay outside.
It was the gun. It was the gun. It was the gun. The gun went off.
How many people are inside?
She said it was the gun. It was the gun. It was the gun. The gun went off.
I'm gonna go around the corner. Is there anybody upstairs? Is there anybody upstairs? Can you go up there? We'll clear up here. I'm gonna hook around this corner, go up there. Sheriff's office, anyone upstairs? This is their back here.
This is weird, man.
You see your firearm?
Sweetie.
Oh. Hey, we got another one up here. What the? There's a child up here. Signal 0, gunshot wound. That's clear. Let me grab my med bag.
I don't know.
Hey, see the fire still up there with her? She's still breathing. Start holding breath, let me go on med. Yeah, we're out of here now. She's breathing. There's a shell right here. I don't see it, signal 0.
Deputy, a couple of questions about that. So when the video starts, there's no sound to it. Is that common when these body-worn cameras?
That is correct. There is a buffering period prior to activation there's no audio.
So it's like the first minute when the camera comes on, there's a where
Prior to the activation, there's no audio. So there will be video, but there will be no audio until I physically activated myself.
Okay. Now,
Well, that seems like a flaw.
when you the signal 0 you all are talking about, what is that?
We're referring to a weapon. In this case, we're referring to a firearm.
So when they keep saying looking or check for a signal 0, you're talking about looking for basically the firearm, right?
The weapon used.
The weapon use, correct. All right. Now, the body worn camera shuts off right there. At that point in time, what do you do?
From the end of the video, my body camera does continue to roll, but however, you're referring to
What you did
Okay.
after that point?
After that point, I pulled the victim closer towards the middle to the bed where I could, easily reach her. Once she was towards the middle of the bed, I physically picked her up, and then I placed her on the bedroom floor in an effort to begin to render aid to the victim.
Okay. And so you were the one who actually
Sad,
physically got
man.
her off of that bed and put her down on the floor to give aid to her, correct?
That is correct.
And did Deputy White actually come back with the med bag?
Yeah, Deputy White returned with his medical bag, and I used some of the gauze that was within his medical bag to apply pressure to some of her wounds that were on her head.
All right. And did ultimately the paramedics arrive and take her?
That is correct.
All right. After the paramedics arrived and took the little girl, what was your assignment at that point?
I had went outside. My vehicle was the closest vehicle to the residence front door. Therefore, I was tasked with putting the defendant within my vehicle and holding him there.
All right. And what was his demeanor while in your patrol car?
He was calm within the back of my patrol car. We conducted a pat down on him prior to putting him in the patrol car, and he was compliant with us.
Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
What else did you do in the investigation?
I maintained the integrity of the crime scene log until I was relieved.
Okay. And what does that mean when you talk about maintaining the integrity of a crime scene log?
We log everybody who had entered the crime scene and left the crime scene while we were on scene at that time for the crime until I'm relieved.
So by this point in time, you all have put up that yellow tape that you all put up?
That is correct. The tape had already been put up by the time I went back outside.
Okay. And it's your job at that point just to document who comes inside that tape and who doesn't. Well, not who doesn't, but who comes inside that tape, correct?
Yeah, who comes in and then leaves as well.
All right. And you did that until you were relieved of your duty on that day?
Until I was relieved the next morning at the end of my shift.
Okay. So you were there for a while?
I was there until the end of my shift the next morning, yep.
Okay.
Wow. It's a long night.
Judge, I'll pass the witness at this time.
All right.
Good afternoon, Deputy Jones. How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right, I just have some few additional questions for you. At the beginning of the body cam, we understand you have that time period where you're always, that's policy, how you're always going to have that off, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you guys, don't, what is it, like a minute that's standard that you do not record?
Prior to activation. There's a buffering
Right,
period, yes.
right, okay. And everybody does that, there's no issue with that, correct?
I'm not gonna lie, her voice is annoying. She sounds like a
Is there an
second
issue
grade
with my
teacher.
camera buffering?
No, there's no issue with the fact that you don't hear anything for the first minute or so, correct? That's typical.
It can be, yeah.
We gotta work on that.
All right, and when you first go to the residence, the door was cracked, was it not? It was not completely open, but kind of cracked open, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I could hear somebody saying, come in to you. That's going to be Mr. Bass, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you said that somebody waved you down, some sort of male is trying to help you get to the scene where you were supposed to be, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And that's because you didn't even have an apartment number in the call, is that right?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And you indicated about the female that you talked to. You tried to talk to her, but she wasn't very helpful to you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you asked her numerous times who shot your child, and she never answered that question, correct?
Correct.
Now, Mr. Bass was cooperative with you during the time you had
Yikes.
contact with him, correct?
Why didn't she
That is
answer that
correct.
question?
And he's going to be in your patrol vehicle for some period of time before he is transferred to another patrol vehicle. Is that fair?
Yes,
And you had never met him before, correct?
that is correct.
And there wasn't any noticeable behavior. He was very quiet. Is that fair?
Yes.
And you're actually going to be the first deputy to enter that townhome, correct?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about your comment about Mr. Bass when you asked, is anybody upstairs? And he says, no one. As you're entering the residence, who are you with? What deputy is with you?
I believe Deputy White was behind me.
So you're with Deputy White, and you remember Mr. Bass, and we hear on the body
Yeah, her
cam,
voice
he
is
says no.
killing
Is that
me.
right?
Yes.
All right. And that is something that you did not document in your police report. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And your reports, you want them to be accurate and detail things you might have seen and heard, correct?
Yes.
Especially from somebody who's being charged with a homicide, correct? You want to make sure you're documenting.
Yes.
Okay. So you're pretty quick, are you not? When you walk past Mr. Bash, you're not standing there to talk to him. You actually
Come on,
never
lady.
stop walking and just walk past him to go upstairs, correct?
Yes.
And Deputy White is behind you, correct?
Yes.
So if Deputy White had heard something in addition to that, you may not have heard it, right?
That's correct.
Right,
Yep.
okay. All right, I have a moment.
And that looks like it's probably his brother. So they look very similar. If I had to guess, that's probably Jermaine's brother there. But yeah, that's his mother.
Deputy Jones, thank you very much. We don't have any further questions for you.
Anything else?
There you go.
All right, you can step down. Thank you. Is he released from his subpoena?
I'm gonna stay, yes, sir.
Yes, Judge, she's released.
All right, thank you. Approach the bench for a minute.
All right, judge told him to come on up there. What do y'all think about these testimonies so far? That's an interesting point. She was asked multiple times, who shot him, who shot him, who shot him.
It's 12:15. I
Same.
will see you back here at 1:15. Same admonition, no discussion about the case, no investigation. Enjoy your lunch.
All rise.
All right, there it is.